What up? What up? Shameless plug. Just finished filming Dead Ball Dancing. If you don't watch, you should.
Oh
You don't
yeah,
even have to like college basketball. It's just a great show. Sean, how you
it
doing,
is.
bud?
It is. I am doing okay, honestly. Been a rough couple of weeks here, and glad that we got something to do that is not moving or being sick. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy.
New 602 hats in the shop. I know it might be hard to see because it's camouflage, but if you want to cop one, they're out there.
Oh
That
yeah.
is the second to last ad I will do today, I promise. Week 16, not quite over yet. The Packers are up 14-0 on the Saints in the second quarter, but I feel pretty comfortable moving on. Sean, how about you?
Yeah. When I was looking at who was in the Saints lineup, and I was looking for a third, fourth, fifth string guy, and that guy was actually the starter, I was like, yeah, this game is
Yeah.
gone.
Spencer Rattler is 2 for 3 for 18 yards passing. He's also the Saints leading rusher, 2 carries for 9 yards. The Saints have 31 yards of total offense halfway through the second quarter. So
Oh yeah.
why don't we just get right into it? We have Christmas games this week, which is kind of fun. I got a little thrown, Sean, when they were talking about like Netflix is going to remix the Saturday games. I was very
Yeah.
confused because I originally thought that the Netflix games were live. I thought they were live Christmas games. And the ads made it seem like they were not. And now I understand the angle they were kind of doing. It's the same four teams, just kind of remixed into a new thing. What a
hmm
weird way to promote a game that your platform is probably not going to be able to handle streaming live.
I have a big issue with. First of all, I have a big issue with football being on Christmas. Believe it or not, unless Christmas is on a Sunday, it is my firm belief that Thanksgiving is for football and basketball is Christmas. As soon as the NFL decided to co-op Christmas every single year and just kind of shoot the ratings down for the NBA, it's like, all right, you guys are just selfish now. Like we don't need football on a Wednesday. We really don't. This week we could do without it. Just this one week. But you know what? It is what it is. And yeah, Netflix has had some issues with some other streaming, some other live stream events. So I can only imagine how fun this is going to be.
Like I can see the first game going well, and the Beyonce concert just destroying Netflix for Ravens Texans.
I think it's going to
So
end up similar to what happened with the Tyson quote unquote fight, where at the beginning it just looks like crap, and you don't really know what the hell is going on with the stream, and then eventually people just get tired of looking at it, and they get with less viewers, and then you can see it regularly.
it settles in and works great. What I will say is we have a pair of pretty good matchups for Christmas. Day of the
They better
week and
fucking be.
streaming considerations aside, you essentially have the Steelers fighting for their lives and the Ravens trying to bounce back a little bit. I'm excited for these two games.
Well, I mean, you are absolutely correct. These are going to be much better games. These are good games to put on Christmas. I guess that's the only reason why you set that schedule up. The Texans have been the leaders in their division for, however many years, almost since their inception, which is kind of crazy, with the exception of those Colts years. But other than that, like you really don't, you really looking at the Chiefs Steelers game, and it should be a game of good defenses and offenses that sometimes get it done and sometimes don't. The Chiefs offense being one of those that is honestly one of the mid-tier scoring teams in the league. I'm pretty certain that they haven't had a single game where they scored 30 points this season, and yet they have one loss this season. So their defense is phenomenal. We can all attest to that. Steelers defense, they've had some weeks where they look really dominant and some weeks where they don't look as good. And their offense without George Pickens is slim picking. Let's just call it that. So, I mean, I don't expect that this game is going to be a high scoring game. I expect it is going to be a strong defensive game, and I really expect that the Chiefs are obviously going to win because without Russ's guy, go-to guy, they're stuck.
I jumped into the stats a little bit because I kept coming back to this game and dismissing it, right? I mean, this is the Chiefs are essentially locked into the one seed. obviously important for the Steelers, but I kept coming to the conclusion that these two teams are essentially the same. And I wanted to dive into the numbers and disprove that to myself because I feel like I have a skewed perception of the Steelers. They are probably the team I've seen the least of this year, which I think is an injustice I've done to myself. But I had this perception that the Steelers are winning games they shouldn't in a way that the Chiefs are, right? The Chiefs are the worst one loss through 15 game team in the history of the NFL, right? Which is a misnomer in itself, right? And I had this misconception that the Steelers were much the same. So I dove into the stats and I looked at how the Steelers had won games this year. And I'm willing to publicly chastise myself because this Steelers team is a more whole product. And obviously, Pickens being gone has hurt their offense in ways that make Russell Wilson look like you should pay him, which is a whole different issue. Um, but this Steelers team is not the Chiefs, and
No,
for a couple of reasons. And the first is that they're not going to win all those close games. And
no.
the second is that they are not holistically clean. The Steelers team is much better on defense than on offense. And the offense has gone through some real dry spells. And if you strip all the nonsense off the Chiefs and you strip all of my hate of the Chiefs and Mahomes out of the equation, the Chiefs are a phenomenal defense. And I am really concerned that the Steelers might not be able to score 14 points on this team. And so it really doesn't matter if the Chiefs win another one possession game and it's 17-14, or if the Chiefs we know are hiding in there show up and win this 41-14. I just don't see the Steelers winning.
I agree with that. Realistically, I don't see them winning either. You're absolutely correct. They are not a team that has all of the pieces that they need in order to be effective. This Chiefs team is just too balanced on defense, and they really don't make mistakes. They make other teams make mistakes. So, on a team where you can't swap players in and out too, I mean, the Chiefs lose their number one running back. Another guy comes in. Their rush game is similar. It's not like they're getting a crazy drop off in production. The Chiefs, a receiver goes down, great. They pick up another receiver. They still have similar productivity. It's not like these guys. It's weird to feel like their players are interchangeable, but in the way that they play and the fact that they don't have to beat you by 30 points, but beat you by 10, 15, 20 points, that they simply just keep the game close and play time of possession. They have a really good time of possession with the ball. That's huge. They're really good with field position as well. They keep teams out of the red zone when they can. And so that's something that you aren't going to see from this Steelers team. And there's a reason why Chiefs have one loss, Steelers have 5.
Ravens Texans is also on Christmas. I don't have a whole lot to say about this game. I think the Ravens probably win this one. They looked a little out of water last week, but I think they are the better team, and I think they'll win here.
I also agree with that. And again, and I think this Ravens team has the ability to make the Texans backfield, give them some fits. But the biggest thing is who's stopping the Ravens offense when it's clicking? There's literally nobody. I mean, it's crazy to look at some of the stats. Lamar Jackson has some of the most ridiculous game stats when I look at him. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. It's like he's got 4 or 5 touchdown passes in the games. And people talked about him just being a running back. Talk about just the legs, and now he's like, oh word, watch this, MVP second. Watch this, and he's just doing crazy things in the air. And still, you got to try to stop Derrick Henry.
Well,
I can't see it
and that's the thing with Lamar is that he's putting up numbers that make his MVP season look pedestrian.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy is probably the best quarterback in the last 5 years. And Josh Allen is having to do like Herculean Michael Vick type things to be in the conversation. And it's like, oh yeah, like Saquon is also having like a pretty good year. But it's just crazy to me if you put everything else aside, you just look at Lamar last year to Lamar this year. Like Lamar last year wouldn't sniff the MVP race, and he won it. And that's just crazy to me. Like the year over year improvements for this guy from a standpoint of doing all the things that people said he couldn't do. Right? He's a rushing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's inaccurate. Sure, he wins. He makes the throws when he has to. Well, now he's a friggin' pocket passer who scrambles like Steve Young. Like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane to me the amount that he has improved or has been perceived to improve year over year. Last year, as the MVP, he's the greatest rushing quarterback of all time. This year, he's going to win MVP. He's the best passer in the league. It doesn't
it's really,
make
really cool
sense,
to see that.
but like it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, I agree with that. And his accuracy has just been on point. I mean, in the month of December is 70%, but over the season 67.9. And you know, he's got 4 picks to 37 passing touchdowns. That's crazy numbers. Like that is insane. You don't find those numbers in a guy who right now most people have third in the MVP, third or fourth in MVP voting right now. You know, Josh Allen again having to do Herculean things. His defense is not performing nearly as well. But you know, 10-5 Ravens team. You know, a 5-loss Ravens team or a 3-loss, a 3-loss Bills team. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm taking Lamar.
It's gonna be really
just
interesting to
crazy.
see how it plays out. At least one team here that does not have an MVP candidate. Thursday Night Football, Seahawks Bears. Sean, is this the end of the road for Geno Smith this season?
As much as I don't want to say it, I think he's run out of time. I think that looking at the rest of the schedules for his division, looking at that Rams schedule, with Kyler Murray not being able to play football past Call of Duty, it should be a cakewalk for them this week. And I mean, even the Bears are a sad team right now, so the Seahawks should beat them. But there's a chance, you know, if Geno doesn't do if their run game is stymied, which it's so inconsistent. If it's stymied, then they become very one-dimensional, and Geno can't do it with just his arm.
Packers are up 21-0 over the Saints.
I just need Josh Jacobs to get me a rushing touchdown. That's all I need.
Chargers, Patriots. Sean, I am here for the Patriots ruining seasons. This team was the most hated team in the NFL for nearly 2 decades. Everyone hates the Patriots. So for the shoe to kind of be on the other foot and the Patriots to suck, I think I really would enjoy them going on like this just destruction tour where they knock the Bills out of contention for the 1 seed. They knock the Chargers out of the playoffs. I think I'm a Patriots fan.
No, you're a fan of chaos. You are a fan of chaos. You would be the guy who is sitting there looking at the end of the season, looking at how the Miami Dolphins or the Cincinnati Bengals could make it to the playoffs by 7 teams losing. Like, that's who you are. That's the chaos that you like to see. And honestly, I'm here for it. I love some spoilers. Realistically, any team that gets to beat up on an AFC West team, I'm here for. So if the Chargers go into New England, which by the way, it's going to be cold, and they play in LA, it's going to be cold. It's probably going to be snowy. They play in LA, and nice little air, you know, and a nice temperature, not regulated, but pretty, you know, normal temperature right there.
Just in that stadium the other night.
The what?
The fog. They had the friggin' sliders open, and all the fog was down on the field level for the Rams game.
Yeah, but I mean, a little fog on the field versus snow. Come on now. You think visibility is bad with a little fog on the field, a little lake, a little ocean breeze coming through? Get the hell out of here. I'm talking that New England. I'm talking that. What is it? What's the forecast this week? 5 degrees in New England.
Yeah,
come on,
it's gotta be awful.
It's gonna be. My parents. I just talked to my dad this morning. He said it was 12 degrees in Philadelphia. So I can only imagine what it's like in Foxborough. It's gonna be awful for them. And they are not a team that plays their best when it's cold weather. I would love to see the Pats sneak one away here, get them going. The only thing that makes me want the Chargers to win this game in a shootout is the fact that Broncos Bengals spoiling Bo's season. That's the only thing that does it for me. But I expect the Chargers to win this game. Realistically, they have a better team. They should be able to win this game. But if the Pats can catch him here, get him to make some mistakes, it would be a really fun thing to watch.
So that's the first of 3 Saturday games. You alluded to the second one here, Broncos and Bengals. Somehow the Bengals have managed to remain relevant. This is a huge game, the AFC wild card. I obviously have a soft spot in my heart for Super Bowl Bo Nix. They don't need this one as bad as the Bengals do, and I'm kind of worried that that's going to be the prevailing thread in this one. I think the Bengals are going to lean into maybe just finally winning one game that they should this year. And I think if the Bengals put up 40 points again, they might beat the Broncos 40-38.
The Broncos have the ability to score as long as they are dialed in. The Bengals can score bunches. They just can't play any defense. So really, it's going to come down. Fumble recovery. Jesus Christ,
are awful.
They're so bad. Sorry, we just got a quick update here from one of our viewers on the game going on right now, that Packers Saints game, and yeah, there's a reason why we decided that we were gonna cast this week during that game. We figured it was going to be not important, and it's showing it's proven to be so. But anyway, getting back to this, Bengals can score in bunches. They are a very good scoring team. Offense is incredible. We've seen that over this whole season. There's a reason why somehow they're still in playoff contention. But the Broncos, coming off of last week, they really want to get this win. And seeing the Chargers playing against the Pats, I think might be motivation for the Broncos to come out here and say, look, we got to get this win. We know that we have divisional game coming up. And we need to make sure that we keep ourselves in that playoff race, because right now if they take one more L, I think that they might be out.
It is super convoluted. Essentially, with that loss to the Chargers, they're behind the Chargers.
They
on
are.
The tiebreak.
Chargers are 6, Broncos are 7.
So, yes, it matters. Every single win matters. Are the Bengals eliminated?
No, Bengals have a chance. So Colts,
they're still in it.
Dolphins, and Bengals have a chance.
Gross. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, but the Bengals have to win out, and they need the Broncos to lose. They need the Broncos to lose like 2 games. So they beat the Broncos. Broncos lose one more game. They would leapfrog them.
Disgusting. The last game on Saturday, Cardinals, who are eliminated, and the Rams, who control their own destiny. Rams, all they need to do is win out, and they win the West. This again feels like one of those NFC West trap games. This feels like one the Rams should win. This feels like one the Rams will win. This feels like the Rams are the better team. And so I think I'll probably bet the Cardinals, because I don't know, maybe there's like a server outage and Kyler can't play Call of Duty on a day where he should be like doing film study.
I think that what's going to happen is the 2025 update comes out this week. So they have a special Christmas update, and then they got a 2025 update. And so while that's loading, Kyler will actually be studying game film and figuring out how to win football games. It's crazy, because I went to one of the games earlier with a buddy of mine from Canada, and he messaged me and he goes, yeah, the Cardinals really shot the bed after that game we went to, eh? And I was like, yeah. Kyler started playing Call of Duty. He started shooting instead of passing. And realistically, this game should be the Rams game. They're playing at home. Their team's getting healthier and healthier each week. I think Stafford having his receivers back, being comfortable, weather's going to be great. There's no issues with that. I just think that this should be their game. But in the spirit of the season, the Cardinals, they got a chance here to really make this difficult for the Rams to close out the season. They're eliminated, but I mean, they can play spoiler real quick here. So Seahawks got to win out too in order to pass the Rams. And Seahawks Bears is a game that we should be. The beauty of the end of this football season is that all these games matter. I love it.
Do we have to talk about Colts Giants? Can we just not?
No, we got to talk about Colts Giants because the Colts can still make the playoffs.
But should they?
No, they should not. I think if there's any team that doesn't deserve to make the playoffs, it's the Colts.
I hate that we didn't get the matchup we should have gotten with the Titans and the Colts because Mason Rudolph is not an NFL quarterback. Mason Rudolph shouldn't be on a team. They would have been better off running the Wildcat with Pollard. I wanted to see Levis and Richardson square off.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say, though?
Richardson had a great game.
Wildcat, man.
And I hate it. I hate it because I didn't get a chance to see Will Levis square off. He's on IR with a broken heart from Queen Victoria breaking up with him. And that hurts. That hurts as a fan of both The Bachelor and the NFL. It hurts that she destroyed him like she has so many men before him. But Richardson sucks. And he had a phenomenal game, and it makes it way harder to make my argument because they scored so many points and they won the damn game. But the dude didn't look good. He still only threw 50% of his passes for completions, but damn, they were on. But if, again, you can't isolate anything in the NFL, right? It's a team game. It all works together. But like if JTT doesn't have 300 friggin' rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, it's a completely different game, right? And you could say that about anything, right? If my aunt was my uncle, so,
if Tajay Spears, who the fuck is that, and doesn't get 2 rushing touchdowns,
man,
then, it's a different game. Yeah.
It's like maybe Pollard's not the guy either, right? I mean, that's what we learned in Dallas. He sucked in Dallas. He got paid. Tajay Spears has looked really good. And you know what else he's doing, Sean? He's being a good role model for the kids. He's wearing that Guardian cap.
I love that. I will say this, Rick, for all of what you're saying about Pollard maybe not being the guy, he's got over 1,000 rushing yards this season.
Right? But how many passing yards does Will Levis have? Because I feel like those things are directly
probably somewhere around each other. Yeah, honestly, I don't think that the Titans have a problem with running back. I think that if you have an ineffective quarterback, it makes it a lot easier to key on that backfield because it's a lot less. You always rush extra guys. You just lock down the box. You're not worried about him throwing the ball downfield. You lock down the box.
We were watching as a group, and somebody's like, Calvin Ridley's still in the NFL. like this Titans team has a lot of issues. From quarterback all the way down the line. But I think you're right. Running back, they're okay. I mean, they're okay.
In his last 5 games, he's had 3 games of under 50 rushing yards, but 2 games of over 100 rushing yards. That to me spells inconsistency. But what that tells me is that he's very capable, and in the right situations, he can do what he needs to do. But it tells me that their offensive line isn't good, and it also tells me that people know how to lock up on that secondary, which means if you got a couple of good corners, you can just rush 7 guys if you want to, because the quarterback's not going to get the ball to anybody. So I can't blame this Titans season on Pollard. It's definitely the issues lie elsewhere.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think he's my franchise guy, but he's definitely not the reason why they lose so many games.
Sean, I didn't open the show with this because I didn't really want to do it, but I'm sitting here looking at this Jets-Bills game, and I kind of want to go on a rant.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Let me just say, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer.
Yes, I agree with that.
Full stop.
I agree with that.
Should Aaron Rodgers be a Hall of Famer? The guy has one ring. He has put up statistically significant numbers on a team that never really had a running back. I watch Cooper Rush play in essentially the same offense as Aaron Rodgers. And it's an offense where Dak Prescott cannot perform. I'm a Dak Prescott hater, but I get to thinking about this more and more. Maybe this isn't Dak's fault. Maybe Dak's problem is that he can actually throw the ball and command an offense. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is Cooper Rush. And maybe Aaron Rodgers is a product of a good scheme, right? Mike Holmgren's scheme hasn't really changed much through the Packers, right? Through 2 head coaching changes. And they run pretty much the same offense now in Dallas. Is Dak Prescott just too much of an actual NFL quarterback that he can't excel in this dumbed down, leaderless shit Packers and Cowboys system that Aaron Rodgers has done so well in? Is the reason Aaron Rodgers as a Jet doesn't work because the offense is too smart for dumbass Aaron Rodgers? I am so sick of Aaron Rodgers. I'm sick of Packers fans, and I'm sick of Rodgers apologists. The guy's a misogynist. The guy's a moron. He has phenomenal numbers. I would never choose him to be on my team because he'll strong arm your front office into throwing out the deal he signed because his agent sucks and signing a new deal. And then he'll get hurt or be sad or be upset that you drafted the quarterback of the future. I'm over Aaron Rodgers. I think the Jets would be well served to move on. And if the NFL Hall of Fame ever wants the respect of the fans, they should not put Aaron Rodgers in.
You know what? I agree with some of the things you said, and you gave me a whole lot to dive into. So let me hit a couple things. Number one, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. 4 MVPs says that. Regardless of whether or not he won a Super Bowl, which he did, 4 MVPs says that. Is Aaron Rodgers a smart quarterback? I would say yes, but I will give the caveat. 2 things. 1, Aaron Rodgers is old. He's old. He's beyond any other NFL quarterback's real years, and his body has shown that. He's had injuries in recent years that absolutely affect his play style, and I do not think that his arm strength and his decision-making based on his body and how his body feels is up to where he's been in previous years. With that being said, Aaron Rodgers is the star quarterback from the high school team who constantly is living off the energy and the accolades that he had when he was on the team, but he already graduated, and he's really now like the 3rd string quarterback at a I give him 3rd string quarterback at a D1 school, but it doesn't matter because in high school he was the man, and he still lives in that same town, so that's all the energy that he gives off. I'm sick of hearing him speak. Period. I'm sick of him talk shit about other players in the NFL, ex and current. I'm sick of him talking about anything, talking about his front office, talking about the coaching staff. Robert Saleh was not the problem. He was not the problem.
Well, Woody
Aaron
Johnson's
Rodgers,
the goddamn problem.
Who?
The owner.
I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is the solution to any problems. And I think the team definitely needs to move on from him. Do I think that Aaron Rodgers is Cooper Rush? No. And the reason why I don't think that is because right now, Cooper Rush has nothing to play for. Right? There's nothing for that. That's not true. Cooper Rush will absolutely maintain his job next year. Aaron Rodgers' job, I don't think necessarily is solidified. Cooper Rush will keep his job. You know why? Because he's won more games this season, I believe, than Dak Prescott. Somewhere around the same number. Yeah. So he's keeping his job. He's got one more win. Was
Yeah, I
Dak won
believe
3, he
so.
won 4, or something like that? Whatever.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
Cooper Rush is keeping his job because in a broken down defense and in an offense that was inconsistent, he was able to come in there and play football. Cooper Rush keeps his job. Cooper Rush might end up with a starting job somewhere stupid next year, which would baffle me. But it's you never really know in the NFL these years. But Aaron Rodgers is still living off that legacy, and he's still talking shit like he's the guy, and you're not the guy. All right. The fact that Jordan Love is in there right now, doing his thing, is to me a testament to the system. The system works very well. And even though it's not necessarily the exact same offense, I just think that there's something about that Packers organization. It's got to be the front office. It's got to be their assistants. It's very much how they orchestrate that organization that allows them to have quarterbacks be very successful for extended periods of time. They can bring in different OCs, they can bring in different head coaches, and still be able to get productivity out of them. And I see that's a good organization. If you want to be a quarterback and you want to have a long, lengthy career, if you get into Green Bay, that's it. I mean, Green Bay, that's your place. If you want to do that. If you want to be a head coach, you go to Pittsburgh. If you want to be a quarterback, you go to Green Bay. But I digress. Aaron Rodgers is cooked. He's done. He's still talking shit. He should be in the Hall of Fame, but I can't wait till they just do it and so he can shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear him commentate. I don't want to hear him. It would be the same thing as listening to Brett Favre. I don't want to hear him either. The way that you talk about players now and the way that you treat the people around you doesn't make me think that you will be a good person for me to want to listen to. So that's it.
I have one more Packers note that I just thought of as you were talking. If the Lions and the Bears aren't 40-year doormats, are Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers talked about in the same light? It doesn't even need an answer, right? It's like
to be fair,
the worst division.
To be fair, that same argument could be said about the Patriots, right? They had a very, very long tenure.
Absolutely. But how many rings did they get?
That was not very good. Huh?
How many rings did they get?
They got a lot more.
And Rodgers and Favre together have 2, playing in arguably a worse division.
It's cold, Rick. It's cold.
It's cold.
It's cold, Rick.
Give me the Bills to win this one big.
Bills
they were
by a fucking landslide.
They were embarrassed by the Patriots. I think they're going to be mad.
Yeah, Bills on a landslide. Hands down.
Titans, Jaguars. Can we save some time here? You want to talk
sure
about the Packers some more?
We can sure save some time with Titans, Jaguars because there is no one on either roster that I'm willing to watch. And
I hope they wear the powder blues and the piss golds like they used to on Thursday nights.
The jerseys, man. This could be a really good jersey game. I would love to see powder blues and the all white. The Jags in the all white and the Titans in the all powder blues will be fire, dude.
We're gonna get the Jags in their like off green, and the Titans will wear like the red jerseys because these teams hate their fans.
They gotta sell alternates, all right? So come up with 75 different alternates so we can sell jerseys.
I would watch the hell out of the Packers in white and the Vikings in white. That would be a confusing game that I would thoroughly enjoy. This game matters quite a bit. Which I don't necessarily enjoy or appreciate. The Vikings are in the playoffs, have not won the division because the Lions are still right there. If the Packers win this game, there's probably 3 NFC North teams in the playoff. I think I would like that to happen just for the narrative. But also, I think at this point in the season, the Packers are probably the better team. Josh Jacobs with a head of steam is a top 3 running back.
Oh, hands down. And he was that way when he was in Vegas, or I guess Oakland, Vegas, whatever you want to call it. But he was a phenomenal running back for that team. They did him dirty. They did the same thing that what happened with Saquon. That they basically said, you're not worth it, which is crazy because he was absolutely a great anchor for that team. But he has been able to show that he's that guy, that he's the guy that people should be relying upon. And a couple of those early injuries didn't mean anything, and he is running his ass off. Realistically, top 3 running backs for me is obviously going to be Derrick Henry, Saquon, and Josh Jacobs. Like, those are my 3. He's having a phenomenal season. He's going to end up, I think, he's definitely going to have a career year. I think he already is at his career numbers right now, but he's going to have the best season that he's ever had. He's going to be on an organization that definitely appreciates him a lot more than where he's been before. And with that being said, Vikings don't have a terrible run game. So I think that the running back matchup here is actually probably one of the things that people haven't looked at. It's going to be very interesting. I think whichever running back comes out on top is the team that wins.
I like that.
That's my go-to.
I think you're onto something there. 10 for 53 and a touchdown for Jacobs at halftime tonight. Not really concerned about the Saints defense.
I need 9 yards from Josh Jacobs right now. I need 9 yards. 9 yards to give me that Hundy, passing and rushing. Or rushing and receiving, sorry.
Raiders Saints next week.
This game right here for draft order, baby. Draft order.
God, that's about the only thing that matters in this game. This is awful. I mean, this is bad football at its finest. The problem is the Saints have already won 5 games. So the Saints are going to be picking in the top 20 no matter what they do. Raiders can lose their way into a draft pick that they should trade out of.
Rick,
I do not trust your front office to use this pick appropriately. Trade out of the first round and get like 6 second-rounders.
No. I'm looking at, so here's the difference. Here's the difference for me. I now have a guy who's supposed to be really good at quarterback in my in my organization to help with that process of figuring out who we get next.
No, he's just going to talk about drafting shit from Colorado.
Hold on. Let me finish. I'm not disagreeing with you about the Raiders trading back. However, I don't think they should trade out of the first round. There are some guys in the first round. Your
quarterback, you have another year where you pick inside the top 5.
And pick up who? You already got guys that are better than Shedeur. And you know what? That's fine. But my thing is, I don't need to worry about whether or not I'm picking up a quarterback in the draft. Because if you can't protect him, it doesn't fucking matter. My biggest issue with the Raiders is offensive line and secondary. It's the 2 things that no matter what happens year in, year out, if they have if they have those 2 things locked in, everybody else can be fillers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you trade back from 3, don't take fucking Shedeur Sanders, who sucks. Draft your line. Like, I don't know who the quarterback is going to be, right? But I know for a fact if the Raiders take Shedeur in the first round, the Raiders come in last in the AFC West again next year.
Well, they were going to do that anyway, dude. Come on now. Mahomes is multiple MVPs. Herbert's throwing for 4,000 yards, and Bo Nix is a potential Rookie of the Year candidate right now.
To trade back.
I'm not disagreeing with you on the trade back, but I am not fucking trading out of the first round. All right? Trade me back. Trade back. Let's go back to 10. Let's go back to 15. Hell, I'll go back to 20 if it means that I'm going to pick up an offensive lineman and give me 2 offensive linemen. Fuck. Give me a strong guy for my secondary. That's what I want. I want those guys. You give me those 2, we can talk.
I'm quarterback and has offensive linemen to trade. The Bucks. If they traded back from 3 or 4 or whatever the shit they end up at to 15 and flip-flop with the Buccaneers for a lineman and a first and a second, they're golden.
Yeah, first and a second.
I don't know who the quarterback is, but
Aiden O'Connell can sit back there all day long if they got an offensive line. Hell yeah.
True. That's true.
Like, he can sit there all day long. And you know what? We've got 7. I really can't tell you who my fucking starting running back is. Amir Abdullah's not it.
Wow.
We do need a running back, but we can find that. We can find a guy behind a good offensive line. We can find a guy. We can work on that. But really, I need an O-line. I need a secondary. It's my 2. Yeah, this game is honestly, it's a wash. Both teams are bad. The Raiders should win this game. They just beat the Jags. So yeah.
Yeah. By the time we're done filming, the Saints are gonna be down by 5 touchdowns. So
as long as Josh Jacobs gets me more fucking yards, I don't care. I want to see them get destroyed.
There is another team in the NFL who needs an offensive line, but they've looked better as of late. Panthers Bucks in a game that the Bucks absolutely have to win. Who you got here?
It's tough. Nah, it shouldn't be tough. It shouldn't be tough. It should be the Bucks game to win. They've got 2 guys at running back, honestly, that could give the Panthers fits. The Panthers got some veteran guys who've been playing really well, much better than what we thought they were going to play earlier in the season. But the Bucks should be a team that gets this win here and makes sure that they have the wins they need to be able to get that playoff spot, because it's that division is, it's not the strongest. Let's just say that.
That's a great way to phrase it.
Not the strongest. I mean, it's been in recent years. It's been a very, very mediocre division, to say the least. But it's always challenging for the teams in that division to figure out who's going to end up winning it. So,
it's like it must be refreshing. It must be refreshing being able to go into the season knowing that if you go 9-8, you probably win the division. You don't need to go on a run. You don't need to have a great team. Like if you were barely over 500, like you're in the playoffs.
Good enough is all you need.
Sean, I would like to submit Week 17 as potentially the worst afternoon slate in the history of the NFL. We have Dolphins Browns, which for all intents and purposes is meaningless. And we have the shitty Cowboys who have not only been eliminated, but are now finding joy in letting Cooper Rush derail teams' playoff dreams against an Eagles team that should not have lost last week. And that's
they're going to be so angry. They're going to be so angry. Yeah, this is a terrible
game slate.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you fucking pull games for every other day of the week. We don't need games on Saturday. We don't need a Christmas game. The NFL wants to have football games every single day of the week. They want to saturate your life so that they can stretch their broadcasting so they have all the viewers. Well, guess what? It doesn't work.
I'm here for it.
It doesn't work.
Give me 50 teams in the NFL, because I don't give a shit if there's 2 games on Wednesday. If there's only 2 games in the afternoon slate on Sunday, someone has failed me as a fan. I would rather have watered down, diluted talent and give me 50 NFL teams. Do not give me 2 games on Red Zone in the afternoon on a Sunday. It's unacceptable.
Well, now Red Zone's got fucking commercials, so how about that? Yeah, that's why they're doing it, so they can get you one of the advertising money.
Like get old and jaded. Like we only get 2 games. There's commercials. Like is this what it was like to watch on CBS in the afternoon? You're like, oh shit. Well, the Bears played on Fox at noon, so there's no football games on in the afternoon. We have to watch reruns of fucking Seinfeld.
Oh man, no, not gonna lie, it's weird. I don't like it. Not only that, but they're. Let's close this out, because I got a quick rant that I want to go on about the fucking broadcasting, because I'm sick of it. I'm done.
All right. So I don't have anything on Dolphins Browns. You got anything there?
Dolphins could still make the playoffs. Super weird.
It's technically correct. I know you're gonna have a little bit on Eagles boys.
Eagles should have fucking won the game last week. Sad way to lose. They're playing at home against the Cowboys. Everyone in the city of Philadelphia, except for the few Cowboys fans, hate the Cowboys. So I expect the Eagles to come out and run, baby, run. They're going to pound the Cowboys. They're going to make the Cowboys into the Cowgirls. Go Birds.
I don't know if you can say that on YouTube, but we did Sunday night football. This is my game of the week. I don't know about you. We haven't talked game of the week yet because the slate kind of sucks. But Falcons Commanders. Obviously, the Commanders coming off that win we just kind of alluded to. I won't beat up the Eagles fans too much. This game matters tremendously for both of these teams. I think the primetime slate here, NBC's got to be pretty damn happy that they pulled this game.
Yeah, they got lucky on that just because of what the Falcons themselves. The Commanders have been, they've been doing pretty well. The Falcons have been up and down, but they still have a chance. It's just so inconsistent. But you know what? I'm ready for some Penix, man. I'm ready for some Penix. I wanted to see him originally, and I wanted to see him play for my team. But you know what? It's funny enough that they say the Falcons do really well with left-handed quarterbacks whose name is Michael, whose last name is one letter away from being a male phallic member.
So, Sean, would you say that you are riding the Penix?
I would not say that at all. I would say that I think they're gonna get the Penix is gonna give some Penix to the Commanders. That's about it. I'm not. Nope. I'm off.
Yeah. It was a stretch. It was a stretch to begin with.
It was good. It was good. But I was not going to say yes to that.
Give me the Commanders to win this game, and give me the Buccaneers to win the South.
Okay. The Commanders are coming off of a great win. I think the Falcons are going to be coming in hungry, but the Commanders are playing at home. The Bucs should absolutely beat the Panthers. I think that this game right here, it will decide the Falcons' future, and I agree with you. I think the Commanders are going to win this game.
So you said the Falcons coming in hungry. Do you not think the Commanders come in hungry?
The Commanders are not going to win the division. I think they're going to get the playoff spot locked up this week. They're not going to win a division. I think that Eagles win was a great win for them, but it's a team that they're playing against in the Falcons who are going to be very hungry, but like they're going to, they're starting a different quarterback, and you got to look and say the Commanders. I expect them to just kind of get up in this game and kind of coast a little bit.
So you expect them to command the Penix? Is that fair?
Yes.
Would that be fair to say?
I'll give you that one. You deserve that one.
All right, Monday Night Football.
This is not my game of the week, by the way. My game of the week would definitely be Chiefs Steelers.
Oh, all right. So that means we need y'all to vote. We need y'all to vote in the comments. Let us know what your game of the week is so that we can label it. If you haven't played our new game, Chain Link, it's really easy. All you do is pick your winners. One of these games will be the yelling and screaming game of the week, but we need your help.
I take back what I said, Rick. I disagree with myself. I forgot on the slate we had Packers Vikings. That game is going to be my game of the week, actually. I think that game is my game of the week.
Chiefs Steelers, definitely not the game of the week. If you vote for them in the comments, you expose yourself as a fangirl.
Yeah, we need games where one team can make or break their playoff chances. We need two playoff contender teams. We need a game that's going to be exciting with teams that are inconsistent at times. Although realistically, Packers and Vikings both have looked pretty consistent this season. So, I mean,
see, and I'm just looking for a game where you have like a really good defensive front where they might like just penetrate deeply and break the Penix. Monday Night Football, Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers. Some of the luster comes off this game, Sean. 49ers are eliminated from playoff. Lions, obviously, still very much in the hunt here. Kind of control their own destiny for the 1 seed with that Eagles loss. It kind of feels like a trap game. But I think the Lions have what it takes to win this game against a seriously depleted 49ers team.
The Lions are going to win this game. They really want to lock up that number 1 seed. I don't expect them to lose any games the rest of the season. They really want to lock that up.
Sean, is the window for the San Francisco 49ers shut?
Over in general, I mean, like, they have some. I think this year being injury ridden is definitely going to be what they're going to write it off. Realistically, having a guy as dynamic as CMC be out before the season even starts, realistically, and then not only that, but to have all your receivers get injured, your quarterback get injured, your backup running back get injured, your third string running back get injured, and you can't play consistently. The difference between the the Niners and the Colts to me is the fact that the Colts had their running back and quarterback more consistently this year, I would say, than the Niners did. The Niners just had so many players swapping in and out, that I'm going to write this off as a fluke season. Realistically, that organization has been very well coached over the past decade, I want to say, and you definitely want to make sure that you got guys coming back healthy next season, and you get back into your scheme of play. I think that they're still, if you look at them position to position, they still have some of the most dynamic guys on offense in the NFL, and their defense is still full of some top tier talent. So it's, for me, I think this is a fluke year. This is a write off. I think you figure out what the hell's happening with getting bit by the injury bug. I don't know what your new sports drink is that you're using, or whatever company you hired to deal with your injuries, whatever new shoe deal that your organization got, but cut that shit out, because it did not help you this season. You need to get back to the basics, make sure your guys are healthy for the next season, and then go into 2025 strong.
That's the slate. That is week 17. We are just about done with the season. Sean,
right.
you got any last thoughts on week 17 before you get into your rant?
I'm still really excited about the fact that the NFL finally put the divisional games at the end of the season. It's going to be really cool to watch a lot of these games in the next 2 weeks play out, look at how the playoff picture really plays out. And teams not necessarily having to be, just random teams having to play spoiler, but teams really fighting for their lives against the teams that they should be fighting against. So I really love that idea. With that being said, I'm sick of all these goddamn broadcasts. All these different fucking organizations, Amazon broadcasts, Netflix broadcasts, and then you regular network companies have your broadcasts. Let's watch football 7 days a week. I'm a huge football fan. And you know what I love? The anticipation of Sunday night football. The anticipation of waking up, and I live in Arizona, of waking up at 9 a.m. and going, I got an hour till football. Or waking up at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday and going, we got football. And we know all day long that's what we're doing. Love that. Sunday, NFL Sunday, beautiful thing. Thursday night football, I can appreciate. Monday night football, I can appreciate. It gives you more prime times. But when you start throwing games every day of the week, Saturday football, Sunday, Tuesday football, Wednesday football, you start to dilute the game. To me, you really do. There's other things for me to watch during the week. I love football, but I don't want to watch it 7 days a week. So that's my little bit of rant.
I think it's fair.
Yeah,
you can catch us yelling and screaming 7 days a week on YouTube. We are always online.
Damn right.
I get what you're saying. I understand the weird holiday shit. Having back-to-back weeks with Saturday games is unnecessary in my mind. Obviously, I already bitched about. I mean, I get it, but you don't need to.
No, you don't.
In my experience, as limited as it may be, there's a broad difference between college football fans and NFL fans. Like there is overlap, but it's not holistic. It's not every college football fan doesn't like the NFL, and most NFL fans don't like college football. So
I think that there are more. I think that the NFL getting a ratings boost from Taylor Swift, but that not being indicative of what football, like female football fans, there is a significantly larger group of female college football fans than people realize, and part of it just stemmed from the fact that that's where they went to school. So they're just simply supporting that organization. They don't have any stake in these NFL teams. So yeah, showing Taylor Swift every game that showed up, even games that she wasn't even at, is a great way for the NFL to try to draw in more fans. But let college football be what it is, and let the NFL be what it is, and stop trying to make the NFL the whole totality of football. Like let's make that product better.
The thing I keep coming back to and keep thinking about is that it must show in the demographics that there aren't as many NFL fans as we would assume there is based on our exposure, like our group of people, right? There's Packers fans and there's Bears fans and there's Steelers fans, right? So if you could put the Steelers alone on Christmas, Steelers fans are going to watch it on Christmas. And if you put the Bears on Thursday night, the Bears fans are going to watch on Thursday night. So from like an NFL league standpoint, if there's a game on Monday and a game on Tuesday and a game on Wednesday,
then you draw in the individual viewers for those.
You're going to get your hardcore
teams.
fans no matter what, right? Because we're degenerates. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I also don't want there to be NFL on Wednesday, but if there is, I'm going to watch it.
But there's also bars and like places that play the games as well. You're going to have viewership in in commercial locations, and I get that. That's what they're doing. They're playing the business side. Yeah. As a football fan, and not just college, not just the NFL. Hell, I'll go watch a high school football game. I'll go watch Pop Warner if I have to. I don't care. Football is football, and if it's played well and it's enjoyable, then I'm here for it. As a football fan, for me, it is detracting from the game to have it every single day, set every week. It is exhausting, and on top of that, things like Red Zone exist for a reason, right? If I'm a football fan and I want to watch 7 games at once on Sunday, I have the option to do so with something like Red Zone. It's great. It's awesome. But realistically, am I going to watch the whole game on Monday, the whole game on Wednesday, 4 games on Wednesday, the whole game on Thursday, No, I'm going to end up having to watch highlights because I just don't have the availability.
And what I don't know is if the NFL knows or cares, right? Because if you put 3 games on the Sunday after Christmas, they're all not overlapping. And you got the Chargers and the Patriots, you've covered the whole East Coast. And you got the Broncos and the Bengals, you've covered the whole Midwest. You got the Cardinals and the Rams, and you've covered the West Coast. Does the league care? And it's their business, right? So it's totally up to them. As a football fan, I would like to not spend 9 hours on the weekend after Christmas watching football. Put all those games on at the same time. I'll triple box that shit. I'm interested in all those games. I'm not interested in spending 9 hours of my day in front of a TV.
If it's on Sunday, I've already committed to it. I told myself from the end of August, Sunday's locked in, baby. I told myself from August to February, that's it. But do I want to do that on my Christmas day? No.
Well, and it's Thanksgiving. Look at Christmas. That's what's killing me. Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, Texans. That is appealing to 10% of the NFL population, maybe.
I mean, I guess
it's Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day. What am I going to do? I'm going to make my whole family watch Chiefs, Steelers.
You put the game on in the background, and you guys open presents, and let the kids play while Dad watches TV. The problem that I have is that that's a Thanksgiving thing. It's we already have a fucking holiday for that.
You open presents on Thanksgiving
thing. No, sitting in front of the TV watching football while people drink and eat and be merry. You know, Christmas is basketball. Basketball has been the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, you bet NBA unders.
And what you end up doing is you end up diluting the other sports by pulling their fan bases away, their viewership. I love football and basketball. And on Christmas, I'd rather put on basketball games because that's the tradition. The NFL starts doing that, and then you look at the statistics and suddenly you see all these stats, and they're like, well, NBA viewership is down 20%. And it's like, well, is it down, or is it that there's something else that's happening at the same time that we know is going to draw viewership away for sports fans?
Yeah, Beyonce concert.
I mean, Beyonce's gonna bring more people. I guarantee you that one. Shit, I'll be
Yeah.
watching for the Beyonce concert.
That's the reason Netflix is going to crash. It's not the Chiefs and the Steelers. It's
Nope.
Beyonce.
Nope. Oh man,
Well, yeah. I'm with you.
I'm done.
The NFL is a business. Those people need to remember. Like, this is the sport we know and love. This is football. This is the game you played since a kid. But the NFL is a business.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the end of the story.
End the story.
But hey, week 17 looks pretty shitty, but there's a couple gems in here, okay? Enjoy Christmas. Spend time with your family. Don't watch 5 NBA games uninterrupted on Christmas Day without telling your family you love them first.
Absolutely. And don't sit there and watch 2 football games uninterrupted as well.
Yeah, don't watch either one of these football games uninterrupted. You need to like get up and go for a walk because the Chiefs are going to win, the Ravens are going to win. I'll tell you right now.
Done deal.
Lock of the week. Parlay it with the Seahawks. You done. Sean, thanks for joining me. Week 17, bro. We got Christmas Eve tomorrow. We're gonna go to dinner.
We're gonna
watching these damn Christmas Day games, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%. A lot of eggnog. I'm ready for it.
I can't have too much eggnog. I'm getting old. It runs right through me.
Ooh. Hey, you can make eggnog with lactose-free milk.
I don't know. Look at our new show, Dietary Restrictions with Rick and Sean. It's going to be on the YouTube where we'll talk about whether it's the dairy in eggnog or just like a systemic inability to process spice.
The Midwestern, you got it. No, that makes sense.
Thanks for joining us, yelling and screaming. Sean, you got anything else this week?
That's it, baby. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to whatever you guys celebrate. Glad that you guys have been with us. Hope you stick with us for the rest of the season and moving on.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Peace.